Welcome back to Ellen Road, the scene of a great rugby league activity today. Thousands of fans. The capacity is 40,000, and I guess they've reached that now to see who is going to win the Ashes battle of 1994. 86 years they've been trying to work this thing out, and it's 53-53 with 4 drawn, 110 matches played. The 19th time a series has gone down to a decider. Well, Chris Bombolas is down on the sidelines, and nobody has been closer to the team in a news capacity than Chris has. What's the atmosphere like in the Australian room, Chris?
Well, thank you, Ray. The atmosphere is electric here on the ground, and in the room, the Australians are certainly focused. They're keen, they're mean. I've just walked out of the dressing room. If looks could kill, I think I wouldn't be here talking to you at the moment. It's the same in the Great Britain dressing room. I have some late news to report on the Australian side. There was a bit of an official wrangle early on. They weren't allowed to warm up out on the ground. They sorted that out. That's fired them up even more. And for Great Britain, there's been speculation all week that Ellery Hanley will be a late inclusion in the team, when I can tell you definitely Ellery won't be playing this afternoon. Thanks, Peter.
Quite all right, Bomber. If looks could kill, that might be just the way they feel about you, not necessarily looking forward to the game. The Rabbit, the Aussies taking the field now. A big moment for Mal Meninga, of course, his final test. I played with him in his first test against England in '82 at Hull. He terrorised them that day, and he's continued to do that ever since.
Yes, a magnificent occasion, of course, for Mal Meninga. He plays his last match today. 17th test against Great Britain for the big fellow, and his 44th test ever. Jeff Carr leading the Australians out. Ron Wilkinson, the financial manager, assistant manager of the team, and the Kangaroos behind Mal Meninga. And we await the arrival to, I guess, a deafening roar of the Lions of Great Britain. And Alex Murphy, I guess, would remember this moment in your career more than many other high spots you've had.
Well, I think this will be one of the biggest occasions for any player. This is a tremendous atmosphere. It's a magnificent ground, and really we should be in for one hell of a game. I think it's going to be very, very important, Ray, how Great Britain starts. It's going to be important how Phil Clark starts.
Well, we preempted it. The noise is absolutely deafening as Great Britain leave the tunnel. Behind their manager, their coach Ellery Hanley, and their reinstated captain Sean Edwards. We are broadcasting from right in the middle of this crowd. No luxury of soundproof boxes here. We are right in the thick of it, right in the middle of the Great Britain fans, and they are lapping it up. Magnificent sight. Home of Leeds United. They pack this ground out regularly. But when rugby league comes to the north of England and the best combatants in the world come together, rugby league can match strides with even the great code over here. Pictures tell the story. This is the third consecutive Ashes series to require a decider, and it was here at Ellen Road that in 1990 the Australian side won the Ashes 14-0, and it was teeming down on that occasion. Not so today.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding and extend the
national anthems are about to be sung by Leon Cronin, a young Welsh vocalist that entertained us at earlier tests, and here they are now.
Wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
The scene from the Cherry Picker. BBC Pictures today.
Our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save our Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our Queen.
Typical of most Welshmen. They can all sing. I mentioned earlier that they've clashed over 86 long years, 110 played for 53 and 53, and Australia has never led that statistic, 4 drawn. And Ashes series victories in Great Britain, 10 for Great Britain, 9 for Australia, and back in Australia, 9 Australia and 8 for the home country. So 19-18 is the current count. They win this one, they level it up.
And the way for Great Britain to do that, Ray, is for them to reproduce their first test form. Somehow they have to come up with the desire and enthusiasm that they showed that day in Wembley. Very disappointing in the second test. The way they fell apart, I thought they were well in the game for the first 20 minutes, but as soon as Mel took the intercept and put Andrew Eddinghausen in the corner, it was all over.
It's also going to be very, very interesting, Peter, how Phil Clark plays. It's going to be one of those games where he's got to start really well from the beginning of the game.
Well, I can understand maybe if he's just there for the first 20, Alex, get a good defensive base set up. The thing that I thought from Great Britain's view would be a problem was opening things up for Paul Newlove, because I think he is one player out there that could probably...
Today, Peter, I think we need marching of fire, Paul Newlove, and everybody concerned giving 100%.
Bill Harrigan in charge of the game, his 9th test match, his first Australia-Great Britain test, and Wishart starts the third and the decider. Edwards gives it back, and Farrell goes back and is met by Fittler and Meninga. Meninga plays his last rugby league match today. Made the top grade in 79, came into rep football in 1980. We wish him well on behalf of everybody in rugby league as Farrell is driven into the ground. They're just inside their 20-metre line, and one of the better players for England has been Lee Jackson. He plays the ball now, and Edwards a dummy half. Keeps it low, drives it down for a bounce to beat Mullins. He comes off his 20-metre line. Jackson leads the procession down with Phil Clark, 33 metres out from the Australian line. Was there a knock-on? Crowd thought there might have been. Meninga got a pass away, ran off away for Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen gets rid of Betts, comes back into Edwards. They'll put him over the touchline. Good cover by the big men, particularly the number 10, Barry McDermott.
We talk about what does Sean Edwards mean to a side. This is what he means. And Barry McDermott, that's tremendous cover tackling.
Good kick from Sean Edwards from dummy half, and I think that's what they need to do early, especially kick to Martin Offier's wing. They have to impose Offier on the Australians, remind them just what a speed freak he is, and get him involved in this game as much as possible. He's now trying to link in outside joint, who throws the dummy, gets the ball away to Offier, but there's plenty of defence.
So the halfway line. Great Britain's Robinson scurries away. Edwards now. Cut out the front rower. They find Betts. Betts got through one. But Australia's come up with it. Played by Dean Prey. Clyde with a big run. 10 metres in it. They felt the force of the attack from Clyde. Now Roberts. Steve Walters. Stewart. Oh, Meninga's pass goes over the sideline. Australia keen to keep the ball moving early.
Yeah, excellent defence there from Paul Newlove, coming up quickly on Meninga. There was an overlap outside. Mullins looking to get involved with Eddinghausen. The pass going astray. And Edwards will now feed the ball 48 from his own line. Here's Clark at 5'8", in the headgear.
Meninga involved in the tackle on Clark. A strong tackle on the halfway. That's Joint in the 13 shirt. Offia got involved. Jackson likewise. Edwards, McDermott got the ball on. Edwards again. Newlove is dangerous. Beats Meninga. Beats Lazarus. Taken by Mullins and Eddinghausen. Great football by the English.
And that was very, very good play by Paul Newlove. He went past Meninga as though he wasn't there. He really is not worried about Meninga. He said it openly, and he thinks he can have a big game.
Edwards is in trouble in back play.
Well, we've got him to touch judge on. He's been out there for a while now chatting with Bill Harrigan. Edwards has been cleaned up, and that's what it will be for. It'll go against the Australians, you would think. Tremendous work there from the British side, keeping the ball alive. Chris Joint particularly strong in the early exchanges. And Sean Edwards feeling up around the cheek, jawbone area.
That's Dean play that Bill Harrigan wants.
I think this is going to be very, very interesting, actually. If we see what happened to Sean Edwards, did he catch him late?
Oh, yeah.
That looks a little bit late to me. I wouldn't be surprised if this could be a red card job.
Harrigan gives the penalty. Dean Pay off with a caution. Tremendous tour for Dean Pay. But Australia could ill afford to have to do what Great Britain did at Wembley. 12 men for 55 minutes. They were equal to the task, and ironically, the man that caused all of that is the man on the end of that.
Yeah, that's a cheap shot there from Dean Pay. Unexpected from a player of his calibre. He's tough enough without going for headshots like that. Andy Farrell will take the kick. It's not a particularly easy one. It is centre field. Only 41 metres out. Won't this lift the side if it goes over? Because they have started very well. If they can put some points on and take advantage of the pressure that they've exerted early in this game, confidence sky high.
I think the nice thing about this, there's been no doubt about Farrow. He's got a tremendous boot. The distance will be no problem.
Farrell then, fifth test. Only kicked one goal in 4 previous tests. That makes it 2. The flags are up. The crowd is up. Great Britain lead Australia 2-0 at Ellen Road. 2-0 in favour of Great Britain, with Harrison playing it midway through the set of tackles to follow the restart. This is Jackson.
I think we've got to be quite happy with the way Great Britain started. They seem to be more confident. They're taking the Australians on. They're running with the ball and they're keeping the ball alive.
Edwards now. Sending it down into Wishart's corner. And the stealer comes away. 124 points for the tour. Just outside his own 20-metre line. Clyde. Let's not forget that the Great Britain side, they started in a similar vein at Old Trafford. Once they had a try scored on them, their heads went down, their performance went out the window. Steve Walters gets away from the marker. Fickler it is that takes the tackle. They're getting close to halfway. 2-0 in favour of Great Britain. Stewart now. Sending it down across this beautifully prepared strip at Ellen Road. It goes in touch in goal, so it's a 20-metre restart. It is quite greasy out there. Quite a bit of rain overnight. If they take the tap, question mark on Australia being back the 10. And Martin Offia came in to take it out. It's rather unlike Offia, particularly on his first 2 test performances. Hunt now.
Yeah, someone's had a word in his ear, and I'd say it was Ellery Hanley to run straight with the football and get involved. Robinson out of dummy half. That's 3 good rucks there. Alan Hunt got in for the second one. The speedy backs just taking some work off the forwards.
Clark. in the number 6 shirt today. A move that was rumoured. It was one of those many rumours in rugby league that turned out to be spot on. Robinson. The last, as you can see, about 5 metres into Australia's territory. Edwards' kick is high to Reddinghausen. Well, were they back the 10? Were they onside? Good kick, though, by Edwards.
I think it's interesting, Ray, to see the different tactics the Great Britain are using. They're keeping the ball alive. Obviously, Harry Rennie said we must attack Australia. We can't defend for 80 minutes.
Well, they went in over the top on Roberts. Not unexpectedly, Roberts with that nasty gash in the eye. A little test out for that. Stewart takes a late tackle over the top by Edwards. And a penalty goes now to Australia. The British lying on the tackled player. It was Lee Jackson, the offender.
And he'll get away with what he can, Lee Jackson. He's really been very good for Great Britain in slowing the play the ball down, getting out before acceptances from the marker position, putting a lot of pressure on the Australian first receiver.
Lazarus now. Been in fine form, finding that form through plenty of match practice given to him by coach Bob Fulton. Clyde, wrapped up around the neck area. Great Britain have not won a series on the home soil for 35 years. As Roberts is put down in a strong tackle by Betts. Walters now. Stewart. Meninga back across the ruck. Pay. They've got to go up with Dean Pay. 40 metres out from the line. Fittler now. Looks for support. Daly is with him. Daly away from one and pulled down over there by Robinson. Just outside the 20-metre line. Tame start, really, to the test by comparison with the first two. The bomb from Stewart. Connolly was very good. Tremendous effort under the high ball.
I think he's the best player in Great Britain, is Gary Connolly. Amazing to think that this is his 17th test. Still yet to score a test try. That's a little bit of a problem.
I think Bubba will see it also, Peter. Look at the confidence, the way the kid goes up for the ball. That is his position, and that's why he's the number one.
Meantime, Alan Hunt is in trouble in back play. He's sustained some kind of a leg injury, and this is Farrell now. Farrell in 12, Joint in 13. Oh, Harrison!
Ian Roberts again was the victim there. He went in for Dennis Betts earlier, came off the worse for wear. That was a better one for the Great Britain side, as Eddinghausen again perfectly positioned. Goes centre field, straightens up. Can't get under the tackle of Chris Joint.
I think it's very interesting, Peter, the way both sides are actually going in and tackling and respecting the ball. There's not many loose passes, and really Great Britain have started off tremendously well.
Walters now, 2-0 in favour of Great Britain. Through to Daly. Now Fittler. Now Daly on the run around. High pass to Mullins. Takes the sting out of it. Mullins swarmed over by Edwards and by McDermott. Fittler. Pay out wide. Scheming and probing. Renoff looking to score. Tries in each of the tests. It's only been done a couple of times in rugby league history. Stewart's pass, a beauty to Daly. Daly shows it, Mullins is with it, Meninga round the decoy. Mullins throws the pass in desperation. Connolly is tackled 10 metres out from his own line. And Betts goes away with it.
And Ian Roberts is in all sorts of trouble out there. No idea where he is. Bill Harrigan gets the Australian defence for being inside the 10, and rightly so. Steve Walters will be called out here and spoken to. Alan Hunt looks as though he will leave the field for Great Britain, so some injury problems for both teams early on. Yes, Hunt has left the field on the far side, limped off.
And this is going to be very interesting in what we actually do, what Ellery only does with the team changes.
Well, he's really got centres, 5/8s, and halfbacks on the bench, so it would seem that.
And a change here, Ray, just quickly for Australia. It looks as though that Ian Roberts will go to the blood bin. Greg Florimo comes in. See some blood coming from the nose of Ian Roberts. 2 enormous hits on him from opposing forwards.
looking at that, Peter, he looks as though he's in a bad way. That was two tremendous tackles on Ian Roberts. He made one himself and one when Dennis Betts, and he lost on both accounts.
In the interim, Darryl Powell has gone on into the centres, taking the place of Alan Hunt. Now this is Farrell. 40 metres out from the line as Edwards goes across the back, and Connolly is with it now. 2-0, a penalty goal earlier on for Farrell. Almost 15 minutes gone in the game. And Great Britain looking very good. And it was about this time in the game that they let it get away from them at Old Trafford. As Jackson kicks, Eddinghausen has been kept very busy. Little mistake by Eddinghausen, he's in trouble. And it'll be a line drop out to restart.
Well, when you kick the football, you're looking for a result, and that's exactly what Great Britain got there. Eddinghausen has been very, very safe. A little bit of a fumble there, but he was still able to clean up. But the chase, that was great. Newlove led the charge. Edwards helped. Another set of 6 now for the Lions.
Significantly, in recent times, when Great Britain has been victorious over Australia, that win has come on the foundation of a good kicking game. Their kicking game today has been quite sound, with one minor blemish. Played by Farrell. Clark lets it go. Edwards pushes on. Dermott is with it. Fittler tries to bring him down, but he has to require assistance from Dean Fay and Mal Meninga. That's the 20-metre line. As away from that point goes Offia. Jackson pulled out. Offia stays there, a dummy half. Edwards. Clark. Edwards. The run around for Betts. And Betts. Offia again. Robinson. Robinson, very dangerous, close. Mullins and Kay make the tackle. Great Britain with a chance. Edwards back. Jackson dummies, then kicks. Came off Australia. They didn't play at it. Betts is with it.
And there's a lot of people here booing Bill Harrigan. The decision is dead right. It came off a Great Britain player. The ball played the man.
No question about Harrigan's ruling. It was spot on. Out to the 20-metre line. Walters now serves it up for Clyde. Australia very much with their back to the wall.
Yeah, I think that puts them in good stead, but Ray, they needed to survive that onslaught.
Chance here, Peter. Meninga for Eddinghausen, but the pendulum swings back for Newlove.
I think we've got a very worried way about the way Mal Meninga's being made to rush with his passes. That's 3 balls to Andrew Eddinghausen. That was a chance, and that was a bad ball.
Played by Clark. 15 is Powell. 5/8 in the first test. On for Hunt now. Australia mistake gives Great Britain another chance. Clark. Walters over the top. Pay underneath. That's how close they are. Edwards. Joint. Still able to get it away. Offia looks for his 27th, but it's a penalty.
Yeah, Harrigan has obviously called held there. It'll be difficult for the players to pick up some calls out there because it is deafening. There's been a fair bit of time elapsed there. Chris Joint getting the ball away to Martin Offia. And again, that is one difference in interpretation over here with the refereeing. It seems to be an eternity that players are allowed to in England to get the pass away. I think at club football that would have been allowed.
Lazarus thunders it up to them, but met by a gleeful McDermott. Pay now, similar reception. Through Stewart. And now with Daly. Daly looks to open them up, gets it back on the inside. Greg Florimo is with it right on the halfway line. Clyde. Straight and hard. 40-metre line. Stewart. Long pass for Meninga. Mullins is coming up. Meninga gets away from one. Straight over the top of Offia. Farrell cleans him up on the 20-metre line. 5 tackles gone. Mullins is the dummy half.
I think Stewart wants to run the... No, he's shaping the kick. It'll go across field.
Big kick by Stewart. Wishart's after it, but it's too big. So the turnover just outside the British 20-metre line.
I really thought that was a good chance for Australia to run the football on the last tackle. They had a big line, a lot of numbers there, players who could have run angles and dummies. And then when it breaks down, do something at the end of it. Bob Fulton, he knows he's got a test match on his hands. Good ball to Lee Jackson. They keep it alive, 20 out.
Clark hammered into the ground by Florimo. Pat on the back for Florimo from Clyde. I'll just see down in front of me, Hunt has come back out on crutches. Now it's Farrell. There he is there, Alan Hunt, a crutch to help him back to the bench so he can watch the match. Meantime, Edwards. And now Powell. First representative offered to Great Britain by the Sheffield club. Edwards back and away for Connolly. Connolly's kick in midfield is high. I don't know about the purpose behind it. Connolly flies up for it, then raked back and down for Australia. Renouf will play it.
I think you'd have to worry about them tactics. Obviously, the kick was going nowhere, and Australia were not going to play the ball. They realised that they was going to get the handover. And really, Great Britain, Peter, seemed to have taking Australia on more in this game, running with the ball and keeping it alive more.
Yeah, they've been very physical. Looking for some support there.
Walters now to the blind side for Stewart to turn back to the centre. Mullins away from Clark and then tries to split them. Gets the ball away for Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen looking for his 12th test try. Pulled down 11 metres out from the line. Renouf now. Renouf tries to beat the marker. Throws the ball down to Eddinghausen. A good tackle on him. Then Clyde. Back for Mullins, who started it all. Mullins is tackled on 5. 11 out from the line. Walters on. Stewart is with it. Through the hands for Daly. Touched by Great Britain. Daly! He scores his 10th try in Test football. And Laurie Daly scores. And Australia grab the lead.
Oh, it's a freakish try too from Laurie Daly. They did run the football. On the last tackle, Ricky Stewart opting to throw to the 5'8". It actually got a touch in flight, this kick. You'll see as he chips over the top, a Great Britain hand. That popped it up nicely for Laurie Daly. And then it was a simple task for him to catch and step back on the inside of Gary Connolly. This is the last tackle. It was set up by a good burst up the middle from Eddinghausen off of Mullins' pass. A little kick over the top. I think it's Newlove who got a touch. And then, well, Gary Connolly had no chance. Laurie Daly, one hand put down, left hand.
I think you'll call that a little bit unlucky, but this was a great move by Australia. First time they've run with the football. Laurie Daly, a world-class player, keeps his eye on the ball and does the correct thing.
Well, now, Ray, the question as to how Great Britain are going to react to that. Very similar to that last test.
Exactly. The last time they were faced with this situation was only a fortnight ago. And as I commented earlier, their heads went down, their performance, their discipline went out the window. Now is a chance for them to really turn Old Trafford around. Will they turn it up?
Well, this is what you'll find out, whether we've got a set of Great Britain players who want to play for the country. This is very, very important that the heads do not drop down.
This will be his 50th goal on tour. And Wishart, he adds the extras. Australia leading now by 6 points to 2 at Elland Road. On the second tackle since the restart. And Fittler is brought down 22 metres out from his own line. Walters away now for Pay, and he puts a step into his work. Almost put him through the gap. Play back for Steve Walters to dummy to Florimo, who offered him a decoy. And then Walters runs into the driving shoulder of Harrison. Cross for Stewart. Now he gets it on the boot, and that'll find touch. Rolling just over the line at the 10-metre point. So the scrum will pack. 6-2, Australia. 124 points for Rod Wishart now, and 50 goals on tour. A total of 124, I might add, this is only his 9th game, so his averages are very good. Schofield has come to the sidelines. Schofield is about to make some rugby league history here. Once he takes the field, he equals the most number of tests ever for England. That held by Mick Sullivan, and he equals the most number of tests for Great Britain against Australia. That held by Jim Sullivan. Meninga now. Meninga gets the pass out. Oh, Daly's hands were great. 12 metres out from the Great Britain line. Walters plays it and or hands it away from dummy half. Passes long and accurately out to Florimo. Then back for Renoff. They're really keeping it alive. This is Dean Pay. He's pulled down by Darryl Powell. Walters now gives it up for Fittler. Fittler! Taken in a great tackle by Carl Harrison. Walters in again to acting half. Away now for Stewart. The runaround is on with Daly. Calls Meninga in. Now he calls Eddinghausen in. Eddinghausen lofts it over the head of Edwards. Daly is with it. Daly runs around Lazarus's big frame. He's tackled 8 metres out from the English line. Away now for Fittler to give on. Pay is with it. Pay for Florimo. North Sydney, 5/8 is tackled. This is the last. Dangerously close to giving a penalty with Schofield. Now, Stewart has an intercept coming up. Offia, held by Daly. Gets it away for Jackson. Now for Newlove. And he goes to ground 25 out from his own line.
Oh, that's danger. Floating the pass out Martin Offia's way. Fortunately, Ricky Stewart reacted the quickest. He threw the pass and knew there was danger. Because open spaces, it is 6 points. Chris Joint comes to the blind side. Phil Clark has left the field.
I think if Martin Offiah had took that ball, I think Ricky Stewart surely would have been better putting that ball into the corner with a little grubber kick.
Farrell taken in a brick-like tackle by Renoff. Edwards on for Robinson coming in. 5 tackles gone almost to the halfway. Down 6-2. Great Britain. Edwards across the ground for Eddinghausen. Andrew playing in his 24th test today. Australia then comfortable as Phil Clark is assisted from the ground. A change that was rumoured to be made at around about the 20th minute of the game has come unfortunately through injury. Exactly as the script suggested. Not the injury part of it, though.
Oh, high shot there from Carl Harrison. He's been very good this afternoon, Harrison. But that one was a little bit wayward on Bradley Clyde. Centre field, halfway mark. Walters out of dummy half, picks up 5 metres.
I think Bill Harrigan there really could have picked Sean Edwards up, you know. He just never tried to get back the 10 metres.
Stewart now, keeping them guessing. Mullins goes through. Will he get the bounce? Connolly is there. Mullins has got it. Gets the pass away. Edwards is with it for England. That was miraculous stuff by Mullins. Played by Edwards now, close to his own line. Connolly driven into the turf.
Yeah, that just shows a tremendous combination, doesn't it? And really, it's up to the blindside winger or the far winger to react to that. Florimo's picked up a little bit of an injury in that attempted tackle. But Jason Robinson needed to react much quicker than that. Get across and cover as Andrew Farrell takes it outside the 20-metre line.
Youngest forward ever to represent Great Britain is Farrell. Jackson, Edwards, Schofield. They want it out wide. Good pass from Newlove. Offia's outside him. Ball came off Meninga. It'll be a Great Britain feed.
And it was a timely arm from Mal Meninga. Paul Newlove looking to position Martin Offiah on the inside. He committed 2 defenders. So it was fortunate that Mal was able to knock the ball down. Good ball from Gary Schofield.
But did you see the ball from Gary Schofield? That's how important he is to a Great Britain side. That's important. He keeps the ball moving along. He'll surely give Martin Offiah plenty of running chances.
Wow.
Well, the touch judge has signalled that it's an Australian fee.
As Clark comes off, Sean Edwards is really blowing up out there.
They've got every right to.
Great Britain should have the feed.
Well, I would think it definitely came off an Australian hand. Surely it came off Meninga. Meninga knocked the ball in the touchline, but you've got to play on. You've got to play to the whistle.
I can't imagine what's happened here in the communication breakdown between touch judge and referee.
Well, this is on the touch judge. He's saying that there was a knock-on from the Great Britain side as Daly goes through. No way knowing that. He'll be lucky to get home alive from Ellen Road, this touch judge.
Clyde now.
And the rain tumbles down.
Florimo, he's okay again. Injured a few minutes back. Lazarus. Good yards. 21 out from the line. Stewart. They come back to the blind side. Fittler wants it. He's gone inside. Harrison picks him up. Lazarus is there. Unloads like a halfback. Mullins flicks it. Daly comes back. They're working up the corridor. Now it's back for Pay. Held by Connolly. Good defence by the fullback. Australia 10 metres out from the line. 5 gone. Will they go through the hand? Stewart puts the kick in. Offia goes back to clean it up. Can't get back into the field of play. Meninga smashed him in goal.
I think big Mal Meninga there wanted to prove a point. A lot of people have been writing him off over here, but there's nothing wrong with this. Good kick and a good chase. Lovely ball. Just look at this onto a fire. He's not going anywhere. Get out of that, son.
It's good work from Meninga and Eddinghausen to get there because they were very deep. They were looking to run the football. So the kick from Ricky Stewart was a touch unexpected. Isn't he having a game, Laurie Daly? A selfish Laurie Daly is the best Laurie Daly. It means he'll take them on himself and then look to pass.
It's a whopping drop kick, which Mullins makes a meal of. And then Mullins comes back. A couple of metres into Great Britain's area as assistant coach and coach put their heads together. Clyde. What a magnificent toiler he is. Walters running more from dummy half than at any time in the series. Stewart for Meninga. Meninga has scored a try in each of the deciders in the last 8 years as it goes across for Fittler. Now Stewart, and then he dummies and beats just about everybody, including himself. Ricky Stewart playing it. Steve Walters. Precisely for Fittler. And then he gets a pass down. It's on the ground. It's play on. Daly. Back for Pay. Pay gets it away. It's gone to ground. Eddinghausen put a boot to it. Robinson's on it for England.
I think Australia now are just beginning to turn the screw a little bit. But you've got to be very, very impressed by Bradley Clyde and Fittler. They're having tremendous game, Peter.
Not for the first time, Alex. The back row is very good. Again, Great Britain, well, they've come up with a mistake 10 metres out in the run line. Here's a chance. Florimo cleans up.
Florimo will play up 22 metres out. Offia the tackler, Lazarus the ball carrier. Half an hour of the game gone. Australia 6, Great Britain 2. Is there another try coming for Australia? Pay gets it away. Stewart gets in behind them, then gets it on for Renouf. Renouf, he can score a try. Can he score here? He's short. 2 metres. Put away by Powell. And Schofield hangs on in the tackle. Wishart. Stewart. A catch and pass in one motion. Florimo, Meninga. Meninga comes to Newlove. Back on the 20-metre line. Fittler. Brad Fittler, a youngster who's been in the thick of Test football for 4 years now. Really has honed his skills. Daly. Across for Clyde. He gets it out the back. Wishart tries to dive on it. Edwards does.
A penalty here to Great Britain. Holding the Great Britain players away from the ball. Very sloppy work there from the Aussies. Rod Wishart looking to get his body between the chaser and the ball instead of diving on it. Sonny Nicol has come on in 17. That looks like Barry McDermott moving the field. He's come from some adversity, Barry McDermott. He only has one eye. Lost his right eye in an air gun accident when he was 16. And that's a fair effort to make it through to Test football.
I think it's very interesting also, Ray, to bring Sonny Nicol on. This is a very, very good tactical change because Nicol is a fiery forward and he's got a lot of pace.
So here they are crossing the halfway line with Sonny Nicol. He came back from a 3-match suspension in the match against St Helens. Fittler around the legs. Dean Pay over the top. Jackson goes for a run from dummy half. It carries him 5 metres outside the 20. Off here at dummy half. Across for Schofield. On for Edwards. The run around and then the long ball. And Powell did well. Robinson is with it. Robinson gets it on. Connolly is there. Connolly floats it. Now with Farrell. New love. Australia's ball inside the 20-metre line. Fittler is to play it.
And if you're looking across, that was tremendous cover again. Meninga on the, cleaning it up. He's saved really 2 searching tries, Meninga. Farrell outside. New love. Watch Meninga come across here. He knows he's in the right place and cleans it up.
In the meantime, Lee Jackson has suffered an injury. It was a fend from Laurie Daly, and I think Jackson might have taken it in the eye. It was Daly bringing it out here. Watch it.
It just looks as though he caught him with the elbow, really. I don't think it was unintentional. It was just one of them things. He was running very, very low, and it just happened.
So let's take a break with the score 6-2 at Ellen Road. We're back in a moment. Miss nothing as we took that small break. 6-2 Australia leading. Try for Laurie Daly, converted by Wishart, and Bobby Goulding is limbering on the sideline. But this is an incredible move, because if he puts Goulding into the match, that'll be his 4 replacements on, and I don't remember that any of them was a sin bin.
No, there's been no blood bins.
Not a sin bin, a blood bin, I beg your pardon.
Blood bin. He's going for broke, isn't he? He's got no other options. He's really got to attack Australia. He knows he cannot defend for another 40 minutes, so he's got his back to the wall and he's taking the chances.
Well, that's a scrum win for Britain. His joint is tackled on the Australian 20-metre line. They queue up. Edwards floats it nicely for Connolly. Gary Connolly getting away from Dean Pay eventually. Comes on from Nicol through Edwards and out for Schofield. And a nice ball inside for Harrison, but Harrison around the legs, he finds Lazarus. They come away again through Dennis Betts. Close to the line. Chance to grab a half-time lead. Schofield, good with the ball in his hands, and wide for Connolly. The pass, though, goes over the sideline.
It's very, very interesting, though, Ray. Since Gary Schofield has come on the field, he's moving the ball out wide, he's keeping the ball to the flanks, and really he's giving Great Britain a lot more running chances.
The defensive work of the Australians has been first class. They were put under pressure early in the game, came through that, and the way that they're sliding to that long ball from Gary Schofield is very effective.
So Stewart uses Wishart this time. He's seen precious little of it, got Wishart. Most of the work has gone to Eddinghausen's side. And Florimo. Fittler. Very feeble defence by Great Britain. Australia has got down to the halfway line and beyond on 3 tackles. In fact, 4 tackles have expired as it goes across to Stewart, and Clyde aims the attack down the centre of the ground. That's the 5th now. Walters on for Stewart to keep low. He's weighted it pretty well. Offia has got Eddinghausen on him. He beats Eddinghausen. He's away from play. Eddinghausen chases. The ball comes out and Bill Harrigan penalises Eddinghausen.
And I think that was the right decision. There's no doubt about it. E.T. just caught the ball. It was an accident, but I know you cannot knock the ball out.
Yeah, that makes it a tough decision, doesn't it? Anybody pulled up for this infringement, it's like, you shouldn't be penalised for an accident. That's exactly what you've said, and this may well be the most crucial part of the game here. Not long out from half-time. If Great Britain can go in just the 4 points down, or even score before then, they're well in this game. Another 6 points to the Australians psychologically might just put Great Britain away here. So they've really got to rise to the occasion. Sonny Nicol hasn't done so. He's dropped the ball.
Renouf is with it now on the left of the ground. Wishart looking to come inside. This is Sonny Nicol losing it. Australia went quickly to the left. They're coming back to the right now. Meninga is with it. Mullins is there. Ophir and Jackson combined to put the Australian fullback down. Meninga. Stewart. Long pass. Misses Daly. Picks up Clyde. Clyde on for Florimo. He puts it on the boot. Robinson puts it into the crowd. Well, did Florimo kick too soon?
You've got to think that was a chance missed, because I think Florimo, 2 men outside him, Ray, really holding the ball. All he's got to do here is hold the ball. A beautiful ball off Clyde here. Florimo, he's got to draw the man. He panics a little bit, slips the ball in. Jason Robinson.
So the line drop out will get us started again. 39 minutes gone now. 6-2 to the Australians. A big drop kick brought back by Wishart. Almost 20 metres. Florimo again. He's been called into the last 2 tests very early on. Fittler. Walters. Stewart. I wouldn't be surprised if he might take a shot at drop goal. He's been pushing players into the centre of the ground. Here's Daly. 9 metres out, 5 gone.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad ploy at all here. If you can't pick up any more, just take the point.
Here he is, Stewart. Goes for it. And he gets it. A further point to the Australian total. 7-2 coming up to half-time.
And what a very important score that might turn out to be. Very intelligent play from Ricky Stewart. There was nothing else on. He was under a little bit of pressure and just did the exactly right thing.
You sent the message out, didn't you, Ray?
He's a mate.
It got through, hey?
He's a mate of mine.
He did position himself nicely. Laurie Daly again coming straight, kept the play close enough to the posts to make it a pretty easy drop goal for Stewart. In this day and age, those 1 points can be very, very important. That one's hit Steve Walters from the restart. Florimo picks up inside his 20-metre mark.
Florimo now. Ricky Stewart, of course, one of the 6 raiders in the Australian Test side, as Fittler tries to open them up. Fittler's been great on this tour.
You've got to admire this fella. He's not only a great forward, he just gives so much confidence to the other lads. But I get a little feeling now that when Australia have the ball in the hands, they're just beginning to turn the screw.
I don't need to tell you that is the half-time hooter, and you wouldn't believe that hooter is right behind us, and Sterlo, yours and mine, pales into insignificance alongside it. That is one hell of a hooter. And you heard it at Ellen Road on the 9 exclusive coverage from here. Australia leading 7-2 at the break. We'll take a break and then we're back.
Series has taken place at some remarkable venues, and Ellen Road, just another one of those. Wembley, Old Trafford, Ellen Road. And at half-time here, 7 points to 2, the Australians lead Great Britain in this third and deciding test. Very competitive start, as we expected for the first 20 minutes. What did you make of the whole 40, Alex?
Well, I think it's been a very, very good game. I think Australia can be very proud of Bradley Clyde. I think Laurie Daly, world-class players, playing exceptionally well. I think Great Britain are keeping the ball alive. They're still in with a shout, but they've got to attack a little bit more than what they are doing.
I don't think I've ever seen a test match or really any game where the 4 bench players have all been involved in the first half. Is that going to prove a problem later on for the Great Britain side?
Well, the biggest problem's going to be now, Peter, if he has any injuries. If he's got injuries, he's going to have a massive problem. He's got his full squad out there now. We can't make any more replacements. And really, if he does have a problem with injuries, who knows?
Having said that, the Lions have reacted a lot better than we saw in the second test. Laurie Daly got the first try, which we'll have a look at shortly. But when that first try was scored in the second game, they did fall apart. Not so. They finished fairly strongly that first half.
Well, I think what you're going to see here, I think everybody criticised the Great Britain performance after the second test. I think today they know what's at stake, they know everything to play for, and they're giving it a go.
Yeah, well, the first try, as we pointed out, was scored by Laurie Daly, a freakish try. Daly put himself in a position to catch the rebound, to register the first 4-pointer. This is how it looks.
11 out from the line. Walters on. Stewart is with it. Through the hands for Daly. Touched by Great Britain. Daly! He scores! His 10th try in Test football. And Laurie Daly scores. And Australia grab the lead.
Oh, it's a freakish try too from Laurie Daly. They did run the football. On the last tackle, Ricky Stewart opting to throw to the 5'8". It actually got a touch in flight, this kick. You'll see as he chips over the top, a Great Britain hand. That popped it up nicely for Laurie Daly. And then it was a simple task for him to catch and step back on the inside of Gary Conley. This is the last tackle. It was set up by a good burst up the middle from Eddinghausen off of Mullen's pass. A little kick over the top. I think it's Newlove who got a touch. And then, well, Gary Conley had no chance. One of Australia's best performers in what has been a pretty solid first 40 minutes from the Australians as they lead 7 points to 2. Laurie Daly looking at Great Britain, and that's the best way for you to have a look at this game, Alex. What do they need to do to win this match, to turn around this 5-point deficit and to go on and win the series?
Well, I think what they've got to do, Peter, is keep attacking Australia. People like Martin Lafayette, Sean Edwards, Gary Schofield, Paul Newlove, they've got to prepare to take the ball to Australia and run at them. Keep the ball alive. They're still in this game. It's not over yet. I think Australia are just slightly in front because they've had more territorial ground and everything like that, but this game is still for the taking.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think it'll be very important as to who can put on the first points in this second half. The next 10 minutes of the match, crucial to the outcome. We're going to take a break now, all to play for in this second half. We'll be back at Ellen Road for the third and deciding test match in this 94 series in just a moment.
Welcome back, Australia and other countries taking the 9 coverage from Ellen Road of the decider here in the 1994 Kangaroo Lions Ashes series. That's looking down on Ellen Road. Let's have a look at the stats now with Peter Sterling on the first half.
Yes, the first half statistics, as does the scoreline, slightly favours the Australian team. They've had a little bit more possession. Both teams have controlled the football fairly well. Very, very good defence. Only 2 line breaks for the Australian team, 1 for Great Britain. So very little there. The big statistic, of course, going against the Lions is the missed tackles. 5 times more than their counterparts, and that's the problem. Once you start missing tackles, you're going to have points scored upon you. They must come out and muscle up defensively if they're to be a chance in this second half.
So 7 points to 2 is the half-time score. A try, his 10th in Test football, scored by Laurie Daly. It was converted, the 50th goal of the tour, by Rod Wishart, and a drop goal, a field goal just in front of half-time by Ricky Stewart took it to 7-2.
Well, I thought the kicking game was going to be very important, as you see the Australians just getting the spray on the hands. Ian Roberts looks like he's back in the lineup, so he'll come back into the game. But I've been surprised that Great Britain have opted to kick to Andrew Eddinghausen's wing more so than Rod Wishart's. No disrespect to Rod, but maybe ET's hands a touch better at times. And I guess they're kicking towards ET because that is Martin Offier's wing.
And the Kangaroos come back out behind Mal Meninga, who has rewritten the record books on this tour. And I'm sure we'll get a chance to tell you more about that. A glorious career. It started at Boothferry Park back in 1982, his Test career. 1980, of course, he was a member of the first Origin side. Roberts is back on, the head heavily bandaged. 40,000 people at Ellen Road, and this is not gone for Great Britain, Alex Murphy.
No, I think what you've got to say is it's 7-2, they're in with the shouts, but they've got to attack Australia a little bit more than what they did in the first half. I thought the Australian defence was absolutely superb, but we've got to get people like Martin Lafayette, Sean Edwards and Gary Schofield taking more part in this game, running at the Australians and putting them under a little bit of pressure.
And if you're talking about the quality of the Australian defence, you've got to say Great Britain's was very good as well. As Alan Hunt, one of the walking wounded, unfortunately for the Lions. When you consider that the first try and only try was fairly fortuitous with the touch ball, Laurie Daly regathering the kick. So they've scrambled well. They've been broken more times, but their scrambling, especially Gary Conley in the number 1 position, has been good.
This crowd loving every moment of it. I don't think Rugby League could have hoped for a better series. 57,000 at Wembley. 44,000 at Old Trafford, and if this is capacity, and I'm sure it is at 40,000, then they have broken the aggregate records. They have broken the aggregate for spectators at a Test series in 1994.
I think the guy with the Utere is definitely doing that because he's a Great Britain supporter. I think that's a little bit offside, actually. It's right behind us, and it's really just broke my kneecaps.
Is what
So
is
the
he?
kick-off, the kick-off, Edwards sending it down, and Lazarus brings it back. 7-2, Australia leading then. First tackle of the second half. Match getting underway in the second half at 20 minutes to 4 local time. Stewart, Pay, out and beyond the 30-metre line. Walters, Roberts, as tough as they come, Ian Roberts. 40 metres out now from the line, their own line. Stewart purposely puts it down inside the 20-metre line, not looking for touch, not looking for anything really other than to put Connolly in the corner, and that of course is the best place to defend from. And now Robinson comes off his right wing.
And that was a very intelligent first set of 6 there from Australia. You want to start well, a couple of simple rucks. They've used Meninga very nicely on the blind side a couple of times. Good strong tackle there from Lazarus, gets it back from Roberts.
What's the news from the dressing rooms, Chris Bombolas?
Well, Ray, Bob Fulton wanted the boys to cut down their mistakes, cut down the turnovers. Ball control was the main thing he issued. He said 40 minutes to go and we're taking the Ashes back to Australia. In the other dressing room in Great Britain, well, the first 10 minutes are crucial, according to Ellery Hanley. Keep Australia pinned down in their own quarter. And yes, he admitted they were on top in the latter stages of the second half, but he said the signs are there and they're in with a great chance.
OK, Chris, Mullins it is with the ball now, 40 metres out from his own line. Fittler, who had a magnificent first half. Ooh, runs into a corker of a tackle from Farrell. Roberts, beyond the halfway. Australians 38 minutes away from taking the Ashes, which they own, back to Australia again. 21 years they've held them. As it comes to the left to Stewart to give on for Daly, the try scorer. Fittler is with it. Mullins strides into open pasture. Renouf put it on the boot. Was the best thing he could do, was down around the bootlaces.
Oh, very poor pass there from Brett Mullins. Great work to slide through the gap, but an atrocious pass back inside for Steve Renouf at his bootlaces.
I think you'd have to be worried about this. This has got to be 4 points on the board. I don't think Mullins even looked who was inside him. The ball just went. It was a panic pass.
That could have been it right there. So Harrison now. Met and put away by Glenn Lazarus. That's the 40-metre line where they played it. Edwards is now with it. Coming back in is Farrell, but he runs into the forwards. And they drop him heavily, Walters and Pay. Robinson sees what looked like an opening. 5 tackles gone against Britain. Back for Schofield. And Mullins has got Wishart with him. He's outside the 20. He loses the ball. But referee Harrigan is playing the knock-on.
I think Ray there, I think the crowd are shouting because he's not played the advantage, but he'd blown the whistle, he didn't know what was going on, and he was advised by the touch judge.
Well, you would have thought in those circumstances it would have been advantage rule. It doesn't make much difference. They win the scrum and go across to New Love. Schofield. More like a forward than a 5'8" for a centre. Jackson gives it on. Harrison's with it. Back for Jackson now for Edwards. Crosses the 20-metre line. Floats it onto the chest of Betts. Betts taken by Renouf. 11 metres out from the line. Robinson away from dummy half. Scored a try from here up at Wigan. Got a pass out. Jackson. The ball knocked down by Australia, I think. It'll be, I believe, a Great Britain feed.
Yes, that'll be the case. Touched by, I think, Ian Roberts. And it was a timely touch as well. Good second base play. He can play, this kid, Jason Robinson. Kept the ball alive to Jackson. In fact, it wasn't, well, there's an Australian diving there. You do not get a better attacking opportunity than this right now.
Well, I think if Great Britain want any chance with the Ashes, they've got to capitalise on this.
Joint, intercepted by Meninga. Well, we will know later, but the number of times he puts that big right hand out and it sticks, it may well have been an Ashes decider. You'll never know until the siren sounds behind us.
He's batting 1,000 with the intercepts. It's more like a baseball glove than a hand, Big Mel.
Clyde will play it now. Well, keep in mind that to make the intercept, you've got to go up out of the line. So you've thrown all the eggs in the one basket as Lazarus takes it to the halfway line.
And hasn't he enjoyed this trip, Lazarus? He's got better game by game. He's doing a tremendous lot of work.
Walters did well. Stewart supports. 30 metres out, 5 gone. Fittler wants it on the right, but the sting has gone out of the attack. Fittler comes back, puts in a little kick. Mullins goes after it, but it's straight down the throat of Connolly. And Connolly tries to get away from Daly. Minga had to come in from the centres to make the tackle. And now Offia, away from the clutches of Clyde, pulled down by Renoff and Stewart.
I think you get the feeling there that Martin Offiah is the man who really can win the game, but is he going to get any chances to win the game?
Powell is tackled just inside the 30-metre line. Great Britain getting buoyed on by this enormous crowd. Good pass. Edwards uses Offia. Edwards supports. Crosses the halfway. Newlove is with it. He beats one. The crowd goes up and Newlove goes down. Ettinghausen the tackler. Jackson. Edwards. Now for Schofield. The crowd listen to them. Schofield across. Farrell taken by Renoff. Gets it away. Connolly is with it. Roberts has got him. He'll pass. He does. Robinson's with it. Over the 20. Runs into the defence. 5 gone. Australia, they need to hold on here. It's with Edwards. Edwards rolls it in behind. Oh, beautiful take. But it'll be a line dropout. Look at the Australian bench.
Oh, they know how important that take was from Andrew Ettinghausen under pressure. Great attacking play from Great Britain. Tremendous defence from the Australians. That's what Test football is all about. E.T. never took his eye off the ball. Good chase from Newlove and Jackson. Tremendous football all around.
And this is what wins Test matches. What a magnificent take by Ettinghausen that was. He'd get a game with the Australian Test side at cricket.
Well, sheer excitement. The beautiful part about being at Ellen Road. I hope you're feeling it back there, because here at Ellen Road Live, it is just incredible as the crowd gets behind their team, and Offia is tackled 40 metres out from the Australian line.
Yeah, and I think you've got to say that Great Britain are obviously taking this game to Australia. They know they're still in with a chance. I think the next 10 minutes is very, very important. They're keeping the ball alive, and they're putting Australia under some pressure.
Edwards, easy yards out from dummy half, but a sad ending on the end of the shoulder of Dean Pay. Now Schofield switches the point of the attack. They come across with Joint using Powell, and Powell put into the ground by Renoff. Pat on the back from Wishart. Good tackle by Renoff. Now Robinson uses Sonny Nicol. 5 gone. Schofield takes it straight up to them. Runs to the defence line. Edwards, here's a chance for Meninga over there, but it's picked up by Offia. Offia passes. Robinson is with it. They're still on the last. They get it away. It's touch football at the moment. It's gone across for Farrell. He rolls it into the end goal. Wishart. A desperate save by the number 5.
Rod Wishart has had to come from the far wing to cover that one up. And just as well he did. And there you can see the appreciation from the fans for both teams. Great work from Great Britain again on the last tackle, keeping the ball alive. Schofield going to the line. Good work here by Farrell. The little kick in, he knew it was the last. Lazarus is there, Mullins is there, but Wishart was the main man.
I wonder, Peter, whether you think this could be a test saver as well. This is a lovely kick from young Andrew Farrell. Puts it right into the corner. A beautiful weighty kick. But have a look at Wishart. This is what good players can do.
Stewart's drop kick, not his biggest. Betts comes back on the first, almost to the 20-metre line. The Kangaroos showing nerves of steel at the moment. Harrison. Second tackle. I'll count them out. Edwards, Farrell, Joint, Jackson, Edwards, still the third tackle. That's it. Clyde makes the tackle with Fittler. Two of our best defence men at marker, front and back. Nicol on the fourth. That's an easy play. Now the fifth. Edwards, a bad pass. Schofield across Betts. Out wide is Powell. That's 5. They went nowhere. They went backwards from the first tackle.
And I think the nice thing about this, Ray, that Australia have not lost the line, they've not left the shape of the line, they've kept it there and kept Great Britain, even when they've had the ball under a lot of pressure.
Well, that has been one of the, I would imagine, most refreshing, heartwarming segments of the game for Bob Fulton. They withstood raid after raid, the Kangaroos, and they've come back now with the football 25 out from their own line. As Dean Pay takes it up the centre, 12 metres short of halfway. And Great Britain have thrown just about everything they've got at Australia. Roberts looking to unload. Walters. Sonny Nicol puts him away. Brasher is on. Eddinghausen is off. As Roberts goes out from dummy half, takes it into English territory, then throws a pass down to his captain. Meninga put down on 5. Stewart will get the ship back deep into Britain territory. He runs with it himself, Ricky. Throws the pass. Mullins scoops it up, floats it out. Knocked backwards by Renoff. Wishard's inside. Brasher's with him. The ball to ground. It came off the boot of Mullins, I think. And it's back with the Great Britain fullback, Gary Connolly.
I think that was a good decision by Bill Halligan. I mean, what we're talking about here is letting the play the advantage. It was the right decision, but again, I was just beginning to wonder, would Great Britain fall for the sucker punch? They've been under a lot of pressure, they've been attacking Australia, and was they become a little bit vulnerable?
It was Rod Wishart who fell for the sucker punch a little bit here. He did a good job to clean up Gary Connolly. And just wanted to hold the Great Britain fullback down a little bit too long. Pushed him back down there, that's the penalty. Has been spoken to by Bill Harrigan.
So the second ball comes onto the ground. Lee Jackson taking the tap. Sonny Nicol up to the halfway mark. Andrew Eddinghausen, he's got an ankle problem. Edwards across for Betts, and now for Farrell. Farrell loves to work out wide. Big lad, he loses the ball. A penalty goes to Great Britain. Edwards moves in to calm Farrell down. Hanley wired for sound and sending out the instructions. I noticed that Bobby Goulding is limbering again, and I did see McDermott doing likewise, so he must have been a blood bin. That's all I can think of.
Well, it must have been a blood bin, but that's a very, very important decision. Do you kick a goal? Do you take your chance and go for a try? I think Great Britain at this moment in time are going for broke.
Edwards turning it in. Betts the second rower. He puts it down. It'll be play on. 6 more. Edwards on. Schofield's with it. Schofield tries to step. First tackle now. 20 metres out from the Australian line. Newlove turns it in. Jackson swamped by Lazarus and Fittler. Second tackle. An appeal from the crowd. Away to Edwards now. Edwards running towards Brasher's corner. Met there and pulled down by Daly. Third tackle, 5 out from the line. 7-2 they're trailing. Schofield with a long ball. He's out wide for Powell. Offier's come off his wing. Powell is tackled. The 4th is gone. 15 out from the line. Offier a dummy half. Robinson runs it. The 5th is gone. They're 10 metres out from the line. Now, played back to Offier. Given on for Schofield. The bomb is high. It hasn't got a lot of depth in it. Up they go and down they come. Australia's got it. Brett Mullins, magnificent under pressure.
And I don't think we can say during all the series has Australia been putting as much pressure as this. Really Great Britain throwing everything at him, but you've got to be honest, Australia look rock solid behind.
Brasher now. This arena, it won't be daunting for Tim Brasher. He had a taste of Wembley as the fullback in 92. Roberts lumbers up to them, gets it away. Walters, Steve has run more today than ever I've seen him, I think. Look at those good yards by the number 9. 5 gone for Australia. Stewart to the right. Then keeps them guessing before putting up a towering kick. Stewart rakes, or not Stewart. It came back to Stewart though. He runs it. He looks for support. The pass goes on. Brasher is with it. He shovels it away. Now it's Daly. Daly rolls it in, and Connolly is there to take it.
They're both sides really throwing everything into this game. They know that they must be positive to win. The thing is that the top-level sport anyway, pressure must be converted into points, and that's what Great Britain were unable to do at the far end. Alan Langer wondering whether he'll get a chance to display his vast array of skills in the course of this game, as Offia beats a couple, throws a pass back to Edwards under pressure, not going anywhere at the moment.
Sonny Nichols in the gap. Nichols up to the halfway. A pass from Mullins now. He rounds him up pretty quickly, really. 40 metres out from the Aussie line.
I think a lot of people were wondering then, could that have been Martin of Fire? Because I think if it had been, it'd have been good night and goodbye.
Farrell put away, a shoulder by Lazarus. 30 metres out from the line. On the third tackle, Schofield tries to get a kick and chase in for himself, but Australia comes up with it.
Very silly kick there from Gary Schofield. It wasn't the last. It was a poor kick execution. Ian Roberts batting the ball back. Really, they had some momentum up there. You can't give the football over so cheaply.
So Australia bring it out to the 40-metre line. Walters, one of the stars. Lazarus running very, very strongly. Proving energy sapping for the defence to pull him down. Walters, look at Steve Walters! Beautiful sidestep and a swerve. He's away from the number 9, and he's pulled down about 9 metres out from the line.
And I think the little man really enjoyed that. He's having a tremendous game, Steve Walters.
Stewart now, players all round him. Daly floats it out. Wishart, he'll score. Wishart gets it down, and Australia lead by 11 points to 2.
And it was almost a slow motion try there. Steve Walters set it up. He's covered more ground than Burke and Wills. Straight up the middle of the ruck. And there the Australian fans, they are ecstatic. The tide has turned, and I go back to the Gary Schofield little chip over the top. It was Great Britain who had the momentum at that time. And it all turned around.
Seventh test try in his career for Rod Wishart. 128 points for the tour.
But I think you've got to win here. What is this the test decided? Is this the one? It's a very, very important ball out here. Wishart couldn't get in the first test. This guy's had a great tour. Strong lad. He knows where he's going, and he does it.
Yeah, the Lions hadn't been able to recover from the Stewart break. You could see that they had a staggered defensive line. Stewart, the selective pass out wide. Now this is where the Great Britain line is at fault. They had Chris Joint, who was back from the line. That forced the winger up. And Rod Wishart was able to come inside his man.
I think you've got to worry about it though, Peter. How many wingmen would have scored this try? It still needed some scoring. It was a good ball off Laurie Daly here. He keeps his cool at all times, this guy. Wishart does likewise.
Well, the Kangaroos, the scoreboard refusing to put up the new scoreline. 11-2 though. Rowe Ellen Road scoreboard shows us 7-2. A protest by the counter. Wishart got it off the boot okay, but it's well wide. But he probably feels satisfied. We'll take a break. We're back in a moment. And back at Ellen Road, and Wishart failing to convert his own try. Australia leading 11 points to 2. And I don't know in the 3 tests that I've seen a more exciting passage of play than the last, say, 15 minutes, with the attack of Great Britain being repelled, and then Australia turns around and scores the try.
Well, that Great Britain did put Australia under a tremendous amount of pressure, but I did say I hope they're not going to fall for the sucker punch. It was a great break by Ricky Stewart, and once that had happened, Australia got a little bit of confidence, knew the try was going to be very important, and did just that.
Stewart now, as he takes command of just about anything that he contests. And really, he becomes so often, Peter, the forgotten man, Ricky Stewart. He guides them around the park, and his work sometimes goes unnoticed, but he's the man, he's the conductor.
Well, we were having a look through the stats before this game, and very surprised to learn that Ricky Stuart has not scored a test try, but hasn't he been involved in some, and some crucial ones as well? I have to think back 4 years. Now again today, he was involved in the final movement that has seen Wishart score wide out. The guy that I'm very happy for is Ian Roberts, to see him back out there. Had to leave the second test very early on with a bad cut to the eye. He's had a lot of bad luck through his career, and even when he left the field in the first half here, you had to wonder whether he'd be back out there.
I think you've got to worry about what he's made of, Roberts. He's got to be made of granite, because he's taken tremendous hits on this tour, and he's got up as if he's never had a problem.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I tell you what it is, it's a great show of confidence from his coach, Bob Fulton, to put him back, considering what Florimo was doing.
Yeah, because we've got one or two Australian forwards really knocking and standing in the wings. People like young Jason Smith, he's had a tremendous tour, and he'd think, what have I got to do to get on this side?
This is not over, though. 11-2, 9 points the difference, and Robinson, oh, just overrunning the ball carrier was Lee Jackson. The last tackle is with Great Britain. Betts floats it out, looking for Offia. He puts the kick in, but Wishart will go across. He'll let it bounce. Oh, and they collide. It's a penalty. Off Wishart on to Daly.
Well, I think he looks a little bit me. It cannot be me, but I think this was a very bad call between the two of them. Laurie Daly, Rod Wishart's ball. Who's having the ball? No call, obviously. And the referee, Bill Harrigan, is dead right. He was offside.
And the Great Britain side are kicking for goal here. They're going to make the score 11-4. That surprises me. I'd take the tap. See Wishart paying the penalty for allowing the ball to bounce. Farrell shouldn't have any trouble with this conversion attempt, but it still puts them 7 in arrears. That means they've still got to score twice.
Well, I cannot believe this, because early on in the game, when there was 7-2, we refused to kick a goal. I just cannot believe at this moment in time there must be a lot of confidence running through the Great Britain camp, because personally I think we need to score a try, and I don't think a goal kick's going to be good enough.
18 minutes of the match remaining, 18 minutes of the test and the series remaining. Farrell from right in front. He took quite a divot, but the scoreboard changes now. 11-4 Australia.
This is News Selling.
The scene of the third test being played in front of 40,000 people. Australia leading 11-4. And 17 minutes of time remaining. And still Ellery Hanley hasn't put Bobby Goulding into the match. In fact, it was when he came on at Wembley that he turned the match around together with Jonathan Davis, and I'm surprised that Hanley hasn't thrown Goulding into the match at this point.
Yeah, he should have been in the starting lineup, Ray. It's a late start for him. Not long to go. He's their most creative player. He's got to be there, and now with that scoreline, doesn't it add some importance to the drop goal from Ricky Stuart?
Yeah. Schofield across the back for Connolly. Of course, Goulding wearing the crucifix, if you like, after Old Trafford. But if your forwards are getting beaten, then it's very hard for your number 7 to get on top, and the two guys doing the co-commentary would know that.
So I just think he was a little bit unlucky too, Goulding. He threw the intercept pass and sort of went into his shell after that, and not a lot of test experience. It was a tough initiation into that game for him.
Anyway, it's with Fittler, and now it's with Clyde. Back row for Australia has given them tremendous impetus. 5 metres short of the halfway line. Lazarus gets in the queue. And you see what I mean about Lazarus. He takes so much energy out of the defence in just having to stop him.
I think he's had a tremendous tour. People tell me he's not the best trainer in the world, but I'll tell you what, he's had one hell of a tour over here.
This is a chance that Great Britain were working for. Play by Joint. Robinson is with it. Pursued and put down by Walters and Stewart. There's a third in there. It's Roberts. That's the halfway line. Across for Edwards now. Inside for Betts. Lazarus again. The tackler was Roberts. The front row. They make a lot of tackles. Jackson's run is good. There's an Australian hurt. I think it's going to say, I think it's Roberts. In fact, it is. Now Great Britain make the ball do the work with Joint going back and across. Clyde took a heavy knock. Harrison looking for ball support. This is the last. 7 in arrears. Schofield and Betts. Well, that gave Dennis Betts little or no chance. The turnover.
there was little or no chance there for Gary Schofield. Both of the Great Britain centres had filed over to the far side of the field, a very short line compared to what they had to work with over this way. Sonny Nicol was the widest man inside the winger, and now that they've been caught out in defence because of exactly that.
Clyde trying to get through and get the ball free. Australia actually built up numbers on the left. Renouf passes, Fittler chimes in, loving the number 13 job. Dean Play is with it now.
I think you've got to say this fella could win the man of the match again. He's had a tremendous tour, Bradley Fittler. He's improved leaps and bounds. This has probably been the best tour of...
Daly gets a beautiful pass from Stewart. He strides inside the 20. Laurie Daly, look at him go! And he's put down 5 out from the line. Meninga goes into dummy half. Ball played slowly as it goes across for Stewart again. He tries to get in between them, not held. Jackson dives on him. 5 tackles gone for Australia now, and Stewart is out of the line, so it's with Fittler. He passes for Clyde. Inside, Renouf had a chance to shut it down.
Well, I think when he looks at this video, Renouf, what will he be thinking about, Peter? Keep your eye on the football, son. This is the simplest of chances, and he puts it down.
Yeah, I'm looking for an excuse there, Alex. Maybe the headgear slipped down or something. He'll drop one of those in the season. You just don't want to make it in a test decider.
Well, he had a chance there to join an elite band of scoring a try in each of the 3 tests, and the band includes Ken Irvine, Mal Meninga, and guess who the third one is? A bloke called Sam Bacco. You get long odds about that.
I think we could have 50 to 1 about that last one.
Well, the one thing that Great Britain do have to do now is to sort out their centre defence. Sonny Nicol on 2 or 3 occasions has been the man inside this winger, Jason Robinson on this side of the field. Not tough for guys with the knowledge of Stewart and Daly to work that out.
Edwards now using Chris Joint. 5 tackles gone for Great Britain. They've done all right. They've got it down on the Australian 40-metre line, but that's a midfield bomb. That's a horror kick from Sean Edwards. Right back and away by Harrison. Over for Sonny Nicol. That's the turnover. Good work by Renouf.
And I think you've got to say it's good work by Australia. There's no way they were going to go into that time for the ball. They knew he was going to get the handover, and Bill Harrigan has caught Sonny Nicol for a head-eye tackle. He's right.
The crowd really booing Bill Harrigan for that decision, but the replay shows that it was smack across the mouth. Now, timeout.
Funnily enough, the penalty was awarded for being inside the 10. It should have been. Head-eye tackler bounced up off the ball. Renouf's a little bit sick and sorry and back played. And Steve Walters now overrun by Glenn Lazarus, so Wishart comes in, centre field. Australians looking to wrap up.
25 out, centre of the ground, 11-4 Australia. They had the chance when Renouf put it down just a few minutes ago. Will they get a similar opportunity? It's with Clyde. Clyde is about 7 metres out from the Great Britain line. A back across through Stewart and then for Daly. Daly's had a blinder today. Lazarus thought about a kick, I do believe. His confidence high.
Yeah, drop goal.
Now Walters, can he get it over? He looks at the line, then he goes for it, he's got it! Steve Walters! Good on you, Stevie boy! You deserve it!
Oh, isn't that right? And he's taken 4 defenders across the line with him in doing so. He's just an incredible hooker forward, is Steve Walters. He is so strong, knows exactly when to run. Was quiet early in the game because the defence was so strong, but once the gap started to appear, up the middle he went. You can see no marker defence at all. In fact, the one marker went the other side. Now, you can't score there. You've got Gary Connolly and Gary Schofield holding you up. Andy Farrell should have come in and helped much earlier, so too Carl Harrison. And somehow, under that melee, he's got the ball down.
But how did he score a try like this? It's like the song, I'm a little mole and I live in a hole. How did he get the ball down? 4 players round him. How strong is this kid? Good try.
I think Fatty with Crocodile Rock's a bit better than Alex with I'm a mole in a little hole.
I don't want either.
Fatty come back, all is forgiven.
Great work here from Gary Connolly's been strong today, but the spinning and the turning of Walters was the key factor in that try. He used the momentum of the tackler to bounce off and get closer to the line, and not a difficult conversion for Rod Wishart. And Bobby Goulding, he'll come on shortly.
15 points to 4. Wishart slams it through the uprights, and Australia lead by 17 to 4.
And I think there you can also start getting the...
And big Mal Meninga had to put the body on the line. This is just the second tackle since the restart. A try scored by Stevie Walters, converted by Rod Wishart. And is the series Australia's now? Can we feel confident? I think we can, can't we? Look, 72 minutes gone. It would take a minor miracle.
And there's
Great
Bobby
Britain
Goulding.
to pull it out.
He's finally out there, Ray. Came on for Chris Joint. Been a lucky ground for hookers. This ground 4 years ago, Benny Elias scored a try in the decider. Now Steve Walters has emulated that. And Mullins.
Good defence by Farrell and also Nicol. This is the last. Dean Pay. Oh, Stewart got a shocking kick. Now Daly slams it over the sideline. So the scrum will go down just inside the Great Britain 20-metre line.
I think Etchenhausen looks very, very happy there, doesn't he? Just at about saying, yeah, out tonight, good night on the town, we've just done the business.
They're on a plane for France at 6:30 in the morning.
What difference does that make?
Manager Jeff Carr said, how am I going to get them on a 6:30 flight to France?
Well, if it's PM, they're half a chance.
So Bobby Goulding could be forgiven if he's tired of warming up. He has been for nearly 40 minutes. He wouldn't work this hard at training, Bobby Goulding, but he's out there now.
He's probably the unluckiest lad, really, not to be on the side. He's not had a bad tour, and he brought him on when he got no chance.
Farrell. I know it's a huge statement, and I don't, for one moment, want to compare him with Phil Lowe, but the way he has styled his game, he's out wide, he's a big strider, a big man, and very fast, Farrell. That was what Phil Lowe was like back in the early 70s. Here's Great Britain now, but it comes down to the green and gold.
Well, how Daly ends up with that, I'll never know. Bobby Goulding nearly sliced through, and he had good support in, I think it was Betts on the outside. Mullins has found a little bit of space, a couple of high tackles, and gets a ball away somehow underneath. But Goulding's first touch nearly straight through.
Walters to dummy half. 17 to 4. And Stewart looks for his first test try. Gets it away. Dean Pay. Dean Pay scores. That's it. Australia retain the Ashes.
Ray, where did that come from? This is
from Ricky Stewart.
Pass. This Paul Downing would have been proud of this. Look at this for a pass. This is one of the best try to score a try in a pass that I've ever seen in my life. A tremendous ball from Ricky Stewart. You've got to be a world-class player to do this. Just look at this.
He still hasn't scored his first test try, but as we pointed out earlier, he's been involved in plenty. Ordinary defence there. Jackson didn't come up on, or, I'm sorry, it was Harrison, didn't come up with Gary Schofield. Flick there to Dean Pay, supporting. And it's a little bit of a shame for Great Britain because it's been a better contest than the scoreline now reflects.
But just look at that for confidence.
Great ball.
Where do you get that? There's only halfbacks can do that. People keep telling me they don't win matches, but they certainly do.
A little sense of deja vu here. Only thing is, the team with the green and gold are doing to the red, white and blue what this little fellow next to me did many years ago. A combination with David Bolton. Wishart converts, and Australia sweet sailing 23 to 4.
Now Alan Langer and David Fairley will get a taste of this decider. The quick restart falls apart. A staggered defence here from Great Britain. Nobody on the inside came up, and that's easy for Ricky Stewart. Oh, great ball. And Dean Pay, good support play from a back rower to be there. Glenn Lazarus has left the field. Steve Walters leaves the field, so Langer will go into the hooking role.
I think Ricky Stewart will be buying the video surely with that pass.
I think Dean Pay will probably shout several times for Ricky Stewart tonight. Stewart probably could have scored his first test try, but he gave it to Dean Pay, who in fact scored his first try. Meninga must be a proud captain, even though that went wrong for him there. What an illustrious career, and what a magnificent way to finish it off.
And I think,
Mal Meninga.
I think the big man also, Ray, he's been under a lot of pressure on this tour. A lot of people saying he shouldn't have played in the test matches, but I think he's answered all his critics. He's had a great last 2 tests, surely.
I think as they make the announcement of the official man of the match, it's Steve Walters who's on the bench, as the picture showed. But I think, Alex, there might have been some kind of a revolt or a riot amongst the players had, in fact, the big fella not been on the run-on side.
Well, I'm not saying I would have left him out, but I'm just saying he got a lot of criticism over here, unjustly, in my opinion. But the guy has proved everybody wrong by saying, I'll do it when he matters.
Schofield now, using Edwards, then the run round. Schofield running into trouble. And the Australian bench with Kevin Walters just 2 down the row from his brother. Kevin acting as sandboy today. And the pass comes loose. It's been battered back by Australia. And again, Jackson kicks it. Now, he's said play on. 6 more tackles. And off he up, working on the left flank. 6 more again, says Bill Harrigan. 23-4. The clock showing 77 minutes gone. Australia weathered a magnificent fight back by the British side. But now they've wrapped it up, and Bradley Clyde is with it. Clyde, hard tackle by Powell. Robinson assists, and Clyde will play it 9 metres away from the halfway line. Langer, Stewart, and then it's Fiddler. Fiddler's into space. Mullins is with him. So is Dean Pay, and Pay shrugs off one defender before being pulled down on the Great Britain 40-metre line.
And when the defence starts to get tired, it gets caught out in the middle of the ruck. The inside passes now opening Great Britain up at will. Ricky Stewart, lovely sleight of hand again. That one thrown into Darryl Powell. 6 again.
I think this will win test matches, Peter, when teams are getting a little bit tired, and especially with the class of Australia.
Renoff now, a beautiful pass by Daly. The pass has been overrun by Wishart. And this should bring a penalty. It does to Great Britain. Sonny Nicol falling on the ball and then ushered across the sideline by Brad Clyde. So now young Jason Robinson is chaired off from the bottom of the screen. An ankle injury for Jason. It's been very much a case of the walking wounded for Ellery Hanley's team today. There's Jason back on the bench. Alan Hunt, he was an early casualty. Now Dennis Betts.
In the last minute of the English leg of this tour, Jason Robinson picked up an injury late. It was a great start from Great Britain, that first test, winning with 12 men after Sean Edwards' dismissal. Australia did hit back, and today's it's been a good decider. I don't think the scoreline necessarily reflects how dominant the Australians, or whether they've been that dominant. They've certainly been the better side for much of this game. The opposition have never stopped trying.
So Great Britain reduced to 12 men. He's used all his replacements. As the high bomb comes down out of a darkening sky, and a penalty goes to Great Britain.
And I think you'll have a look at this, Ray. Just have a look at this for a little chap. This fella wanted the penalty as soon as the ball was kicked. It was a great kick by Dennis Betts, and have a look what Goulding does. No intentions of playing the ball whatsoever.
So Bobby Goulding plays it now. The penalty going their way. The hooter in the background. Australia retains the Ashes, which they've held for 21 years. And the drought continues for Great Britain. Mal Meninga will be coming up to receive the Ashes trophy very shortly. Laurie Daly, an outstanding performance. Steve Walters, the man of the match. And the Ashes trophy will be presented in an area just behind us, in fact, in just a few moments' time. But 23 points to 4. It was 7-2 at half-time. But then Australia really hammered Great Britain after the British side had put on attacking raid after attacking raid, and it rewarded them with nothing. There was no harvest, and Australia came back, and they inflicted this defeat on them, 23-4. and a 2-1 series victory. Daly scored the first try. That came at the 19th minute. Wishart's try came at 57. Steve Walters wrapped up the Ashes at the 70th minute. Dean Pay scored his first Test try at the 74th. And Great Britain, of course, their penalty coming from the boot, or their penalties coming from the boot of Andrew Farrell. Rod Wishart capped a magnificent series. A try and 3 goals here would take him to something like 132 points all up for the English leg of the Kangaroo Tour. So the crowd, not too many of them, keen to leave this hallowed ground, a ground that has proven marvellous for Australia in 1990 and again today. And Mal Meninga leads his troops over. The main contingent of the Australian touring parties are on the far side. This gigantic stand on the far side of Ellen Road. And that's where the major bulk of the Australian supporters have been seated. The evening falling on the city of Leeds, the city that hosts the Kangaroos these days on a permanent basis. A section of the Australian crowd, no doubt members of the Peter Sterling Tour.
They're there, Ray, and I'm sure they enjoyed the day. Been a lot of support for the Australians over here. I know how much the players appreciate that. Pretty tough to come here in front of 40,000 and not have some cheering for you. I'm sure now, with the applause going around, it's not just the Australians who are showing their appreciation of the great football team. One thing about the Great Britain sporting public is that they do like people who can play, and these guys can.
Well, it's probably inappropriate to ask Alex at this stage, but did the right man get the Man of the Match award, Steve Walters? I've got no worries with it myself, but my goodness, Ricky Stewart, he contributed greatly, did he not?
Well, I would think Stewart and Bradley Clyde, I think he had a great game again, and Brad Fittler, he had a great game. As a matter of fact, I think he's been worthy of the man in the match. I think the little man has done everything right. He's competed for the full 80 minutes, and I think he'll go home very, very happy.
And the presentation party is waiting for the Australians to make the trek up the staircase, past, in fact, our commentary position. Maurice Lindsay, Derek Noble, who is the boss of Courage Brewers, and John Smith Trophy, of course, Rodney Walker, chairman of the Rugby Football League, and John McDonald, former Test great. Steve Walters, the man of the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this wonderful
here
Test series
is a great moment in rugby league for Mal Meninga, who emulated Clive Churchill today by captaining Australia 9 consecutive times. First player to make 4 Kangaroo tours. First captain of 2 Kangaroo sides. Most number of points in Anglo-Australian Test matches. Broke Keith Holman's record for most number of tests against Great Britain. And there it is, the trophy held aloft by one of the great rugby league players. Surely he will join the previously instated or invested immortals of the game. Well done. Congratulations now. So a jubilant procession of kangaroos. Never have we been this close to a presentation. Well, Sterling and Murphy have, I guess, as players, but as commentators, we could, and I guess you might have seen us shaking hands with Mal, we can lean out and ask them, can we hold the trophy up?
I actually think that you've just done that, Ray. I'm sure that was your arm that held the trophy up at the moment ago.
Well, what a magic moment this is. Ken Arthurson watching the 9 telecast back in Australia. John McDonald, his deputy. as I said, a member of the presentation ceremony. Dean Pay scoring a try, his first in Test football. And there it is, the John Smith Trophy. The Tina Turner song in the background says it better than anybody, probably. Simply the best, and the Australians are world champions. There's no doubt about that. Chris Bombolas is down there with Laurie Daly. Yes, Chris?
Laurie, describe the feeling for us.
Oh, it's a very touching moment. All the guys prepared very well for this test, and it's just a great feeling, mate. It's as good as anything going on.
What about the big fella? He's doing an interview over there with the BBC. It's a great way for him to go out, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, mate. He deserves everything he gets. He's just a great bloke and a great player, and as I say, mate, he deserves everything he gets.
What was the key to victory today?
Oh, I think it was just our hungriness, mate. We defended them out on our line there early in the second half, and we didn't want them to cross, and it was just full of guts and full of determination.
Congratulations, enjoy the moment. I know you'll party on tonight.
Yeah, we certainly will, and I can't get by without saying good day to Wendy, Andrew, Wendy's mum, and my mum and dad.
Thanks, guys.
Good on you, Laurie. Laurie talking there to Chris Bombolas, who we thank, and there'll be more from him, I'm sure, in just a moment. Laurie, not forgetting his mum and dad back in the Riverina.
Didn't have enough today.
Let's go to the BBC.
The first try was just probably a little bit fortunate from Australia. If we'd have got him between the lot, it might have been a different story, but due credit to the Australians, the worthy world champions, and I hope they have a safe journey off.
At the start of the second half, we had pressure. Did Great Britain need to score then?
We needed to score, but I don't think the bounce of the ball went our way, but that's rugby league. We didn't hold the ball enough times with 6 tackles. I think that was our biggest downfall.
Are we getting closer to Australia, though?
Probably on a national level, I don't know, because it was maybe a little bit closer last time, but it's been a tremendous series all the way from the Wembley game up to this one, and I hope the people at home watching the game have enjoyed it.
And finally, a tribute to Mal Meninga.
Well, Mal Meninga's a legend, in Australian football and over here in England. For a rugby league player to win the Sports Personality of the Year, it shows, what highest team he's held in.
And you've enjoyed today, Sean. It's much better than Wembley.
Well, I've enjoyed today. I prefer to have won, though, Val.
Thank you for joining us.
Sean Edwards there, the Great Britain captain. A tour that he won't forget all that easily. Let's go now to Mal Meninga with Chris Bombolas.
The boys naturally in a hurry to get in the shed, but we can't go without saying Mal Meninga, congratulations. Fabulous campaign finished. How does it feel now?
I'm pretty relieved, Bomber. It's a hard-fought game today. With the score didn't indicate the real battle out there today. They played tremendously well, a lot of commitment, as did we. We just hung in there. The defence was magnificent once again. That probably told them in the end of the day.
Another eye on the, another dot on the eye across on the T for Mal Meninga's illustrious career.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. It's been a great tour in squad. I really appreciate the guys' effort through the whole tour. Unfortunately, 17 had made the field today. The rest of the 11 and the trained staff, particularly Bobby Fulton, it's been a marvellous tour and end up in the right possible way.
How important was it to you to finish your stick here in Great Britain by holding aloft the Ashes trophy?
And everything, everything as far as my playing days are concerned, we talked about all week, if we didn't take that Ashes series home, this tour would be a failure, and we've proven the English crowds and our own supporters and ourselves that we can come over here and play on English soil and win the Ashes, and I'm just very proud of all the team.
Thanks for a fabulous career and some great moments. Thanks, Mel.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, we endorse those remarks from Chris Bombolas, interviewing there one of the immortals of rugby league as he heads off for the dressing rooms. Mal Meninga, 1979, 1994, and I don't know there are too many records that he didn't break en route. We'll take a break, and then we're back with Peter Sterling and Alex Murphy from Elland Road.
They've had to come from 1-0 down to win the Ashes series, but here at Elland Road in Leeds, the Kangaroos have taken out the 94 series by defeating Great Britain 23 points to 4. 4 tries in the end. I think that the result was much closer than the score indicates, but Laurie Daly got a try, Steve Walters, Dean Pay and Wishart all across the line. Ricky Stewart kicked a field goal, Rod Wishart kicked 3 goals, Andy Farrell kicked 2 to make up the 4 points for Great Britain. I think, Alex Murphy, that probably over the 3-game series, the difference between the two sides has been shown that Australia scored 10 tries to Great Britain's 2, so they had an inability to get over the line.
Well, I think the difference has been the class. When you have class players, you get them scoring a lot of tries, and in this side, every one of them's a class player. Like Bobby Fulton said, it was very difficult who to leave out. Now, our fella's not had that privilege. He's had a few problems. He's had 3 injuries with Jonathan Davis and 1 or 2 more going, and he's had big problems. But take nothing away from this Australian side. I think they've had a tremendous tour. They've entertained, and today they've done what's necessary. They win matches and they do it well.
Now, having said that, today we did get a real test match.
Oh yes, I mean, I think the score was not flattering, but having said that, Great Britain competed. This fella Bradley Clyde and Fittler and Laurie Daly, they've got to be 3 world-class players of the ice level.
A little bit of bad luck, I suppose, for Great Britain in the first half, losing a couple of key players, Alan Hunt leaving, Phil Clark leaving, so their course wasn't helped there, but I was surprised and probably made it fairly obvious during the call that Goulding wasn't injected into the match earlier.
Well, the kid's been a little bit unlucky, really. I thought he should have been in from the start. I thought that Gary Schofield should have been in from the start. But like I say, I don't pick the side. El Riani picks it, and maybe he sees things different. But having said that, Bobby will get his chance. His time will come when we next year in the World Cup. He'll be there. He's a great competitor, and I hope he just gets a big run.
And from the Australians' point of view, the forwards again very strong. The back row was great. You mentioned Brad Fittler a few times. It sounds like you got a soft spot for Fittler.
Well, I always appreciate great loose forwards, and he's one of them. He's got a lot of football ability, he's got pace, he does a tremendous amount of work, and not only does he make tries, he scores tries. So for me, he'll be the next superstar of this generation.
Well, at half-time it was 7-2, so it was a real ball game. The second half, the first try came from Rod Wishart. A tremendous break by Steve Walters, who was the official man of the match, and in the end, the try was scored wide out by the Illawarra winger.
Look at Steve Walters! Beautiful sidestep and a swerve. He's away from the number 9, and he's pulled down about 9 metres out from the line.
And I think the little man really enjoyed that. He's having a tremendous game, Steve Walters.
Stewart now, players all round him. Daly floats it out. Wishart, he'll score. Wishart gets it down, and Australia lead by 11 points to 2.
And it was almost a slow motion try there.
Seventh test try in his career for Rod Wishart, 128 points for the tour.
But I think you've got to win here. What is this the test decided? Is this the one? It's a very, very important ball out here. Wishart couldn't get in the first test. This guy's had a great tour.
Stewart, the selective pass out wide. Now this is where the Great Britain line is at fault. They had Chris Joint, who was back from the line. That forced the winger up. And Rod Wishart was able to come inside his man. That made the score 11-2 in Australia's favour. Steve Walters got the next to make it 17-4. And the third try score in the second half, his first Test career try, probably won't be his last, was Dean Pay. And he is now with Chris Bombolus in the Australian dressing sheds.
Dean, Ashes glory today. How does it feel? It's your first campaign in the Ashes tour and with the Australian side.
Yeah, well, it's capped to just a great tour off for me. I've really enjoyed my footy over here, and today's just a pinnacle, mate.
What about that flick pass from Ricky Stewart?
Yeah, well, it screwed my head off, so if he didn't give it to me in my room, he was going to cop something. We got home.
Is that the secret that you two have been working out in your rooms over 7 weeks here in Great Britain?
Yeah, it's finally paid off, mate.
What about from here? What for Dean Pay? I mean, you've started an Ashes campaign, back for Canterbury next year?
Yeah, start all over again next year. We, as we know, we lost in the grand final, so we'll start again and just go from there, I suppose.
What about, does this help make up for the disappointment? I know you were shattered after the grand final.
Yeah, well, you know, as the players, some players have gone through losing grand finals, it's not a good feeling, but to be involved in something like this is just unbelievable.
What about Dean Pay? Can he put a cap on the celebrations tonight, or no problem?
Oh, mate, she's look out tonight.
All right, there's a very happy Dean Pay. Thanks, Dule.
And rightly so. I have recollections of Dean Pay being on the bench for the first grade at Canterbury 2 years ago, almost being the find of the tour. And I think that probably applies to a couple of players in this Australian lineup. A couple of unlucky players. You mentioned Jason Smith. Timmy Brasher has played Test football standard throughout the whole tour. It's great when you can only fit 17 in, but you could put another 5 or 6 or another 11, really. Well,
you've got people like Alfie Langersat on the bench. I mean, it stands Australia in good stead for the World Cup. And that's going to be very, very interesting to see how many new youngsters they bring in and we bring in, because obviously Great Britain are going to have to recall a lot of young kids, give them their head and let them get on with the next set of 6.
Well, what about Great Britain? What have they got out of this series?
Well, I think they'll have learned a lot from this. Obviously, we've never been good enough. We played magnificent in the first Test, Peter. I think it was a lot of guts and determination won us that match. We got stuck in. I think the lads will have learned it's a lot tougher at international level.
Well, not so tough at an international level for Ricky Stewart. Didn't play in the first test. Again, as he did 4 years ago, was able to force his way into the side. He too is in the sheds with Bomber.
Ricky, you've got that all-important trophy there. What does it mean to you?
Well, it's 7 weeks of hard work. I mean, we had our backs to the wall after the first game at Wembley, but as a true champion side we are, we've turned it all around and come back and took out the Ashes.
You didn't start in that first test, played in the next two. Obviously, that was the turnaround for you, the battle for the halfback spot.
Oh, so it was a battle. It was a very hard battle, but no one remembers the two previous games. Everyone just remembers now the win with the Ashes. Everyone talks about the third test now.
We were talking in the commentary that you haven't scored a test try as yet, but you set up one there for your roomie. You set that up on purpose for it?
Oh, yeah, I've got to try and look after the roomie. Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed about I'm not scoring a try until. Still got France to go. I'll tell you what, if I don't score one over there, no one else is going to.
What was the key today to victory then?
I think our defence really showed out today that not letting them score a try was a big effort, and purely goes down to our defence. I think the last words before we walked out before the game was defence is going to win us the match. Our attack just works off our defence.
Despite losing that first test with the Roos, still confident they'd be going home with the trophy and the Ashes?
Well, you've got to play confidently, and I, on a personal note, I was very confident because I thought we had the players to do it. I just thought that the next two tests we just proved how much better of a side we were than Great Britain. You know, they threw a lot at us, especially in the second half there, very early in the second half. We took all their pressure and hung in there and come home the champions.
How do you back up against France? I mean, this was the pinnacle of the Rugby League Challenge.
Yeah, well, you don't want to wreck a good tour by being disappointing in France, so you take it out from there.
Okay, congratulations and enjoy.
Mate, I was a nice quiet fella until I met up with Dean. He's taught me how to party, so I'll have a good night tonight.
Yeah, the blind leading the blind, I think. I'm actually getting down to the sheds quick smart to just take Ricky through the one test try I scored. Length of the field one it was too. Alex, you might have got one or two in your time. What about Ricky Stewart as one great halfback? How do you sum up his game?
Well, I think he's a great player. Great players do great things, and he does. That pass was a magnificence. I mean, that, if somebody said, watch this and do this, you'd tell any kid to do that. Only world-class players can do that, and he's one of them. Not only does he does a lot of work in defence, he's a great kicking game. I think if he run a little bit more with the ball, I think he'd be devastating.
I think the longer the tour went to the combination, the Canberra combination of Stewart, Daly, Mullins coming in from fullback, Meninga outside bringing the fullback off his shoulder, that started to be more important as the series unfolded.
Well, obviously, Bobby Fulton had a big problem. He had two world-class scrum halves to put in. It's very difficult, when people are telling you, oh, put him in and put him in. He's got to get it right. The man was big enough to get it right for the second test. Stewart's gone better. Laurie Daly goes better. I think if he's around for the World Cup, we have got problems.
Well, the one player I didn't mention, the Canberra connection, man of the match today, and rightly so, Steve Walters is with Chris Bombolas.
Steve, a crowded dressing room, everyone wants to get in here. For you personally, what does it mean to retain the Ashes?
Oh, just a bit of relief, mate. More than anything, lost the first one there, and there's just more and more pressure each time you come over here now because the blokes before you have won the Ashes, so the blokes should be over in 4 years' time. We'll probably have a little bit more pressure again than what we've had this year.
Consider yourself a chance in 4 years' time?
I'll be 33 then, so that'll probably be it for me, but, I was pretty lucky today. Things went my way out there, so I was more than happy. If I don't get another chance now, that'll do me fine.
On the scale of achievements, of your own personal achievements in rugby league, how does this fit?
All right, mate. Well, sit down and have a couple of beers now and have a bit of a think about it. Certainly well up there. It's always it's a sort of a flat feeling straight up to the match. It's as I said, I feel more relieved than anything else, but we'll certainly have a think about that tomorrow. A slow start to the tour, but you've certainly finished like a train. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with how I've gone. I've got a bit of a slow start. I had a couple of little problems there at the start, but the success of the tour just hinges on winning the Test series, and fortunately for us, we've done that, so we can relax now.
Were the boys always confident despite losing that first Test at Wembley?
Yeah, you're always confident, but it's so easy to lose. They've got a good side, and I think that the scores, indicated the difference between the two sides, particularly in the last two games. They've been in both games at different stages, and we've managed to skip away a bit at the end, and it sort of looks as if we've won more convincingly than what we did.
Congratulations and enjoy the night ahead.
Thanks very much, and thanks to everyone in Australia for all their support.
It wasn't a particularly easy tour for Steve Walters. Did battle a couple of pretty nasty injuries, but he had a superb performance here. In fact, he played well in the Australian season, and he's continued it on this tour. We're going to take a break now. We'll be back shortly to wrap up the 1994 Ashes series from Elland Road in Leeds. Australia's rugby league domination has continued here at Ellen Roads in Leeds, winning this third test 23 points to 4 over Great Britain. That wrapped up the series 2-1, and the man who's had to coordinate all the Kangaroo players over here and done a great job. Under some pressure, we went to the dugout a couple of times. He looked fairly nervous. Is the Australian coach, Bob Fulton. He's with Chris Bombolas.
Well, Bob, how do you sum up the tour's over? Is it relief, happiness? What are the feelings going through the successful coach's mind?
Well, I suppose it's just the same as any of the other series that we've been sort of taken to a decider, and this one was the ultimate decider because Great Britain are very, very strong, and as was evidenced by the fact that the way they performed today. I mean, we had to really struggle to get our tries, and I think the turning point in the game was probably 5 lots of 6 into the second half, where they had the ball out of 10 lots. The next 10 lot of sets, I mean, they had it for 8 and they couldn't score. And I think it's a credit to these guys that they can limit a side like Great Britain to 2 tries in 3 tests to give you some idea of the defensive commitment they did have in the series.
Was that the key to this series, the defensive effort from the Roos?
Yeah, I think it was. I think when you start to look at it, I mean, if you can stop them from scoring and, with the potential that we've got to be able to score points, I mean, we have averaged before today's game something like 38 or 39 points per game. And, I think it's a dead set of credit to them. But, I mean, it all boils back to defence. And you stop them scoring and you've got the ability to be able to score tries and, put plenty of pressure on. Well, that's exactly what happened today.
No Australians and nobody was really happy after the Wembley result. Were you always confident that the Ashes would still be bound back home?
Yeah, but it would be nice to be able to sort of win the first couple and be going into this one cruising. But I mean, that's sport and that's rugby league, and the various things happen. Everything that happened in the first test was basically self-inflicted, and it basically come back to ball control. It's a simple game, but the fact is that if you don't control the football, you've got no chance.
It was Mal Meninga's last game on British soil, a fitting exit for the big fella.
Oh, what sort of a year has he had? I mean, he's state of origin. I mean, even though they didn't come up trumps here, they came up trump in the major competition in the world, the Winfield Cup. Winning that and Mal captaining that particular side. And then today, I mean, it's a credit to him. He's an ambassador to the game, both on and off the field. And I mean, he's a great player for these players to play with. And there's plenty of players have learnt from him, and he'll be sorely missed. I can tell you that.
Yeah. How much has he meant to Bobby Fulton?
Well, it's a relationship, a coach-player relationship that I've very, very much enjoyed. I mean, we've had our ups and downs as far as winning and losing Test matches go. I mean, just about in every series that we've been involved in, it's always been a decider. But we've always come up trumps, and Mal's done Australia proud, and so has the teams that he's been involved with.
Well, congratulations and thanks for some great football.
Thanks, mate.
Been great harmony in this touring group, and much of that can be attributed to their coach Bob Fulton. And of course today's test match does bring to an end the English leg of this 94 Kangaroo Tour. Now off to France, where 4 games will be played. The Australians first up on the 23rd against the President's 13 in Paris. On Sunday the 27th they take on Catalan selection in Perpignan. Wednesday the 30th a France B team in Avignon, and on Sunday December the 4th the test match against France, that's at Béziers, and then the Australians return home, should be home on December the 9th. Alex, a heavy schedule coming up. We've got the World Cup next year. International Rugby League at the moment, it's on a pretty good footing because there's not a great deal that separates Australia, England, New Zealand of course as well.
No, we're going to have some great competition for the World Cup, but isn't it nice for the supporters? They're getting some tremendous excitement, some tremendously talented players, and I think the Australians can go back and be proud. I heard Bobby Fulton say then he was very happy with the defence. He must be also very happy the way they score tries, because they've made that look very, very easy indeed.
Well, we've been very happy with your contribution, Alex. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to coming home and getting some sun. A heavy schedule next year, of course. We start off with the Sevens early on, the pre-season competition, 20 teams in the Winfield Cup, and you'll see all the Rugby League action once again on the Channel 9 cameras. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of this Kangaroo Tour. We've had fun bringing it to you. So for now, on behalf of Ray Warren, Alex Murphy, Fatty Vorton and the entire Wide World of Sports crew from Ellen Road in Leeds, we wish you a very good night.
Clyde, Eddinghausen, Edwards has been sent, Mullins is after him, and Davis, he scores! The test match is over at Wembley. Great Britain, the Lions have beaten Australia. The big bloke's away, he finds Eddinghausen, now it's away for Clyde, Clyde inside for Mullins, Mullins, he's over!
Oh yeah, that'll do me, sensational football.
Australia has kept the Test series alive. Walters on. Stewart is with it. Through the hands for Daly. Touched by Great Britain. Daly!